one of the important things that we do when we study Guarnerius text is to try to have an open mind and not come with our own preconceived ideas. And a reflection of having an open mind is being able to formulate questions about what you're studying. And what happens when you ask questions? What does that do? It opens your mind. And opens your mind to receive new information, opens your mind to that higher part of yourself that really has all the answers, and opens your mind to receive information from our spiritual teachers and guides that are working with us, who can psychokinetically project images and information to us at the appropriate time. So we call that the journal approach to past life therapy. And if any of you have been studying along, we recommend it as corollary reading at home, the principles and practice of past life therapy. If anyone's been studying that, very much the facilitator of those classes, Charles Fagel, was having all the students, when they studied, bring questions, and they brought them into the class and asked them. And some of them he chose to answer, have a discussion, and others he didn't, because it was for the student. It was their own personal questing to receive the answer. So how many actually took the time to write some answers down? Okay. And did you find when you did that it was true, that you received more information? If not at the time, later more information came to you? No. Okay. Well, it can be that process. And I can tell you in particular, standing up front here and being the facilitator can very much be that process. It's very humbling because it shows sometimes how little I know or understand. And after I facilitated a class and walk away and go home, and even the next day, all this information floods in. And it's a wonderful opportunity to learn. So it may not come exactly when you want it, right? Because that's trying to control your higher self and the infinite. But it downloads when you're open and when it's that time, when it's ready to happen. And then the second part of that was, have you ever believed you were a great personality in the past? And how did you validate whether or not this was true? And I know over the years of being a student here, I've heard different students say, oh, I was, this person in history, or I was that person in history. And so maybe if you personally haven't believed that, you may have heard someone say that. And so how would you say that you could validate for yourself or that other person? How could they validate whether that was true or not? Annette?
Well, if there's change in the person, then it could be true. But if there's no change and the person uses it as an ego, then right there, you have not lived that person. And you have, as you said, that person wants to be this certain individual, this famous person, because that person has low self-esteem. And try to raise herself or himself, I'm a great person. And I remember our teacher, Uriel, said, if you were a certain famous person, you would not even know it most of the time.
I was going to share some of my experience, like, see, when you actually go around with the past life, like me, I had a long time ago, about 3 years before I recognized my past karma, as I karma woke up with this individual person at work. So it's been 3 years, I've been going down, but I've been going around it, but not actually making that attunement. So it has to be the right cycle. Like say, I finally figured out why I had so much emotional experience with that person, jealousy, and then I saw, finally it came to my consciousness, I was married to this person, and I got so much jealousy over her, and she was with another man. Then I found it out, I actually maybe I did, I killed her in a past lifetime. So that was my recognition. When I had that recognition, that emotion, just with, I feel that releasement, and that which called that energy has been changed from a negative experience to positive experience. Now, see, I was holding on to it in the past, and now she's moving on. Now she got married because our past was so strong. Because I was holding on to the past, so by my recognition, helping myself, I also have that energy to move on to their own spiritual evolution, so they own work out. So that's my personal example there.
Great, thank you.
Being a student, it's really important to have a journal with you all the time, so you can always write down your thoughts, obsessions, and places where you work and you have like reactions or dream state. Those are your clues to your past life. A clue is just emotion, reaction. I usually write down just every time I have reactions or I daydream, and it helps me out. And when I wake up in the morning and before I go to sleep, I like to actually listen to something positive, just to put me out there. And when I come back with a fresh idea, that's how you discover your past life. And also not just with journal, but you have to actually study the science of life, which is you have to really understand the psychic anatomies. You can't. It's all right just to study and write down. You just write down. That's just all your past information until you really analyze it. You learn to use that, the journal just to really analyze and recognize your past. You learn how to have what you call it a real workout or real healing. So.
One of the things that we were going to suggest as homework is if you don't keep a journal, to keep a journal during this next week and see how that helps you in your day-to-day life. And sometimes you can say, oh, I don't have time to do it, but it's amazing when you take the time how much more integrated your life can be, particularly if you're going through some trying times in your life. It can be very, very helpful to keep that balance. And Jack, anything else for next week?
No, maybe, excuse me, maybe just think of some creative thing that's happened in your life since you started on a spiritual pathway.
So next time we're going to focus on the creative spirit. The purpose of understanding who you are and overcoming all these blocks and shocks from your past life is to develop this alignment with your higher self and to be able to express more creatively and clairvoyantly, and so that's going to be a focus of our class next week.